deep in the dense forests of Mexico, where the trees stand tall like silent watchers and the rivers whisper in hushed tones, there exists an ancient legend that parents tell their children to keep them from wandering too far. A legend of a woman whose cries can be heard in the dead of night, a woman known only as La Llorona, the Wailing Witch. In a small village at the edge of the forest, a young man named Mateo lived with his grandmother. He was a fearless soul, always dismissing the old stories of ghosts and curses as mere superstitions. But one night, his skepticism would turn into terror. It was a warm summer evening when Mateo and his friends gathered near the forest. They dared each other to enter the trees and walk to the abandoned Santa Lucia River, where the spirit of La Llorona was said to appear. Laughing at their fear, Mateo accepted the challenge. Alone, he made his way down the dark, twisted path. The deeper he went, the quieter the world became. The distant chirping of crickets faded, the rustling of leaves stopped. Even the wind seemed to hold its breath. A thick mist rolled over the ground, coiling around the trees like ghostly fingers. As he reached the riverbank, he suddenly heard a soft sobbing. The sound was faint at first, but it grew louder with every step. A sharp chill crawled up his spine. His heartbeat pounded in his ears, but he pushed forward. Then he saw her. A woman stood knee-deep in the river, her long black hair covering her face. She wore a flowing white gown, torn and drenched in water. Her shoulders trembled as she cried, her hands reaching into the river as if searching for something. Mateo felt frozen, unable to move. His breath caught in his throat as she lifted her head. Her face was pale as death, her eyes hollow and sunken. But her mouth stretched unnaturally wide, as if it had been torn open in a silent scream. Then she spoke. "Where are my children?" Her voice was a shrill whisper that echoed through the trees. Mateo turned to run, but the mud beneath him swallowed his feet. He struggled, panic gripping him as the woman's sobs turned into laughter, low, twisted, and inhuman. The river churned violently, and out of the water skeletal hands began to emerge. They reached for him, their icy grip latching onto his legs. Mateo screamed, thrashing desperately as he tried to break free. The woman took a step closer, her movements jerky and unnatural. Her laughter grew louder. The hands clawed at his skin, dragging him down, down into the river's embrace. Just as his head slipped beneath the surface, he heard the last thing he would ever hear. "You will join them." The next morning, the villagers found Mateo's body floating in the river. His skin was pale, his lips frozen in a silent scream. His friends told the elders what had happened, but no one was surprised. Because La Llorona always finds those who do not believe in her. Even now, if you listen carefully near the rivers of Mexico, you might hear her weeping in the night. And if you do, pray that she does not see you.